You're listening to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. The show that gives pastors and church leaders the clarity they need to protect their people, property, and ministry.
Welcome back to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. I'm your host, Ron Wadley with Insurance for Texans. We help church leaders protect their people and property with wisdom and clarity. We're entering week 2 of our series based on our book, The Promise of Certainty. Now that we've established the principles of risk, it's time to get practical with the framework we use every day. We've spent some time talking about the why of risk, why it isn't random, and why boring is beautiful. But today we're moving into the how. At Insurance for Texans, every single policy we write and every relationship we build begins with a simple 3-part framework: where you are now, where you're headed, and what you need to get there. When those 3 things are in alignment, your insurance isn't just a bill you pay, it's a tool that actively supports your mission. To show you why this alignment matters, I want to tell you a story about a man named Pastor Rick. Early in his ministry, Rick served a small faithful church in the Texas Panhandle. Like many pastors in small towns, he wore a lot of hats. He was the preacher, the janitor, and the guy who made sure the insurance premiums were paid. But he did something else. He made sure the church had a policy that actually covered what mattered. He didn't just check a box. He looked at the where we are now part of the framework. One dark March night, a massive tornado tore through town just after midnight. Rick lived in the parsonage right across the street from the church. Just moments before a window shattered across his master bedroom, he ran into his young son's room and carried him out of bed to safety. That young son was me. Pastor Rick was my dad. Our congregation and our family were safe, but the church building itself was in ruins. It was a pile of bricks and twisted metal. Yet in the middle of that wreckage, my dad didn't panic about what would happen next. He had peace, not just spiritual peace, but the practical peace that comes from knowing he had already prepared for this exact scenario with a trusted advisor. You see, you can't upgrade your policy or lower your deductible after the sirens stop. Grace gives believers a spiritual foundation that nothing can shake, and insurance, when it's done right, gives your church that same confidence in the face of earthly disasters. Tomorrow, we're going to dive into step 1 of our framework, how to figure out exactly where your church is right now. In the meantime, don't wait for the wind to howl to check your foundation. Connect with our team at insurancefortexans.com, and if you haven't already, download your free copy of The Promise of Certainty at thepromiseofcertainty.com. I'm Ron Wadley, and this has been Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. Until next time, remember, your church's mission is too important to leave to chance.
Thanks for listening to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance. Until next time, remember, insurance isn't just about policies. It's about safeguarding the mission God has called you to lead.